Hello, my dear student. Welcome back to revision class. Myself Ashrita from Economics Department. Today I am going to discuss about public finance and economic planning. First, I will give a brief introduction about central state financial relationship. India have a federal form of government comprised of national government and subnational government like those in state, union territory, village and towns. The Constitution have made a clear distinction between the union and state function and source of revenue. There are several division of function in the central and state. First one is central government function, second one is state government function, and third one is both central and state government function. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಸಂಬಂಧ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಭಾರತವು ಒಂದು ಒಕ್ಕೂಟ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಕೇಂದ್ರ, ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಥಳೀಯವೆಂಬ 3 ಸ್ತರಗಳ ಸರ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ನಡುವೆ ಸಂವಿಧಾನಬದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ವಿತರಣೆಯಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ದೇಶದ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಲ್ಲೇಖವಾದಂತೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಅಧಿಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು 3 ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ವಿಭಜಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರವು ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯ, ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರವು ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಮೂರನೇದು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು 3 ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ವಿಭಜಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆನ್ ಟು ದ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ revenue to the central. The sources of revenue to the central can be divided into 2 parts. One is source of tax revenue, second one is non-tax revenue. Under the source of tax revenue, there are 3 types: tax on income and expenditure. Under that, personal income tax, corporation tax, expenditure tax, and interest tax. Second one is tax on property and capital transaction. Wealth tax, estate duty, gift tax, tax on the capital value and asset, agricultural land of individual and companies. And third one is taxes on commodity and services. Central access duties, custom duty, service duty, and tax on railways. These are all come under the source of tax revenue. And second one is non-tax revenue. This include borrowing from the internal and external source divided from the undertaken like railway, post, telegraphy, public sector, etc. So next, sources of revenue to the state. The sources of revenue to the state can be divided into 2 parts. First one is sources of tax revenue and non-tax revenue. Under the source of tax revenue, land revenue, tax on agriculture income, tax on the sales and purchasing of goods, tax on the land and buildings, tax on the entry of goods into local area. These are all things come under the sources of tax revenue. And second one is non-tax revenue. It includes income from the owned by the state government, loyalty from the mines and forest, fees taken in all court except the Supreme Court, and fines and penalties. So these are all things under the non-tax revenue. So next, transfer of resources. India have developed explicit as well as implicit channel for managing intergovernmental fiscal relations and for making vertical transfer, particularly for center to the state. So first one is fiscal communal transfer. The Constitution recognized that its assignment of tax power and expenditure function would be a create imbalance between the expenditure need and ability to the rise revenue. So second one is planning communal transfer. The planning commissioner makes grants and loans for the implementing development plans. And third one is center minister transfer. Various ministries given grants to their counterpart in the state for the specified project, either wholly funded by the center or state to share a properties of the cost. So next, problem in a central state financial relationship. The financial relationship between the center and state are virtually important for the smooth functioning of federation. Some problems which arise in the connecting with the transfer of sources from center to the state, they are the condition grant are regarding as interference with state and as an attempted to the exert pressure on the state. And second one is the central bank contributed a large amount of resources into form of grant to the state has acquired considerable power of affected the decision making process at the state level. And next, the financial resources of central government are highly elastic while those of state are relatively inelastic. The indebtedness of state to the center has been increased rapidly. Next one, the unconditional grant creating diversity between the power to the spending and the need to the tax. ನಾವು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಸಂಬಂಧದ ನಡುವೆ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ಬೋದು. ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದದ್ದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಹಣ ದೊರಕದೇ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಸ್ವಾಯತ್ತತೆಗೆ ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಹಣಕಾಸು ಆಯೋಗದ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಕುಂದುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಂತೀಯ ಅಸಮತೋಲನ ನಿವಾರಣೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಣಕಾಸು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್. ದ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಎವರ್ 5 year or earlier under the Article 280 of the Constitution to give a recommendation on the specific aspect of central state financial relation. The first commissioner was appointed by President on 20th November 1951, which was chaired by Mr. K.C. Nyog. Since the 14th Financial Commission have been appointed, and so far 13 Financial Commission have submitted their recommendation. So next we move on to the 12th Financial Commission 2005 to 2010. The 12th Financial Commission was constituted by the President under the chairperson of Dr. C. Rangarajan on November 1st, 2002, given a recommendation on the specific aspect of central state financial relation during the 2005 to 2010. There are some terms of reforms. The distribution between the union and the state of the net produce of tax, which are to be or many be divided between the chapter 1 part of the constitution, and allocation between the state of the respectively share of such proceeds. Second one is the principle which should government the grant in aids of revenues of state out of the consideration fund of the Indian and the sum to be paid to the state. And third one, the measure needed argument the consideration fund of the state to supplement the resources of the panchayat and the municipalities in the state on the basis of the recommendation made by the Financial Commission of State. And next, the terms of reforms. The demand on the resource of central government, in particularly on accounted of expenditure on civil administration, defense, international and border security debts, services and other commitment expenditure and liabilities. 12ನೇ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಆಯೋಗ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿ ರಂಗರಾಜನ್ ಅವರ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 12ನೆಯ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಆಯೋಗವನ್ನು ಭಾರತದ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳು 2002 ನವೆಂಬರ್ 1ರಂದು ರಚಿಸಿದರು. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಶಿಫಾರಸುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತರಲಾಯಿತು. ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆರಿಗೆಗಳ ನಿವ್ವಳ ಮೊತ್ತವನ್ನು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ನಡುವೆ ಹಂಚುವುದು, ಭಾರತದ ಸಂಚಿತ ನಿಧಿಯಿಂದ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯಕ ಅನುದಾನವನ್ನು ನೀಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಮುನ್ಸಿಪಾಲಿಟಿ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳಿಗೆ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸಂಚಿತ ನಿಧಿಯನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸುವುದು, ಹಾಗೂ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಸಾಲ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮಗ್ರ ಆರ್ಥಿಕತೆಯ ಸ್ಥಿರದ ಸಾಲಗಳನ್ನು ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಸೂಚಿಸುವುದು, ಹಾಗೆ ವಿಪತ್ತು ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಗೆ ಹಣಕಾಸು ನೀಡುವ ಬಗೆಗಿನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಯಿತು. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೀ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ 12th Commission. So first one is microeconomic stability. The total fiscal deficit for center and state to be reduced 3% of GDP and tax gap ratio 17.6%. And second one is distribution of union tax. The total share of state in the total shareable central tax to be fixed at 30.5% and state 29.5%. And third one is calamity relief fund. The calamity relief fund scheme will be continued as was in the previous plan of center and state ratio of 75.25%. And fourth one is grant to the local bodies. The total grant that will be have given the state for the Panchayat Raj institution and local bodies for the period of 2005 to 2009. Grant in aids to the stands For the period of 2005 to 2010, the total non-plan revenue deficit grant of rupees 568.56 billions in the recommended. So next, summer of recommendation. Plan for a restriction public finance, share for the union tax revenue, local bodies, calamity relief, grant aided to the state. 13th Financial Commission. 13th Financial Commission is established in the year of 2007, headed by Dr. Vijay Kelkar for the period of 2010 to 2015. 13th Financial Commission is reported in Parliament on February 25th, 2010. So there are some terms of reference. The distribution of tax collected between the center and the state. The principle determining the grant aided to the states out of the Consideration Fund of India. To review the state of the finance of the center and the state in the light of the operation of state debt consideration and relief facility. To review the present arrangement regarding financing of desired management. Last, to suggest a new roadmap for fiscal consideration in the period of between 2010 to 2015. So we move on to the economic planning topic. Economic planning refers to the deliberating control and direction of economic by the central authority of the purpose of achieving predetermined target and objective with a specified period of time. So there are some objective of economic planning: to increasing the national income and per capita, to raising the standard of living of people and control of mass poverty and unemployment, to reduce inequality, to attaining economic self-reliance, to modernizing the economic, and to control of rapid growth of population. So there are some achievement of economic planning: increasing in national income, progress in agriculture, progress in industries, development of economic infrastructure, development of science and technology, structural improvement, development of social infrastructure and capital, growth of sectors. So there are failures of economic planning: unrealistic of target, incomparability and inconsistency, over and halves of investment, failure to reduce inequality of income and wealth, failure to eliminatory poverty, neglect of employment, failure to check the growth of black money, growth of economic power, neglect of the agriculture. So these are all things discussed in a public finance and economic planning. Thank you.